The mattress app saved his sleep profile. The app was never supposed to be clever. We bought the mattress because my back wanted peace and Arya liked graphs. Every morning, it would chime with a little crown icon and tell us how well we'd rested. The tone was confident without being smug, like a trainer who doesn't care whether you listen as long as you show up. On a Tuesday that already felt like a rerun, the app greeted me with confetti and a banner. "Great job, Miles." Below it, a tidy chart showed averages for side B miles, including heart rate, tosses, and a note I couldn't unsee. New profile added at 2:41 a.m. We don't know a Miles. Or I didn't think we did. Arya was still asleep, turned toward the window, a loose tangle of hair on one cheek and the mouth she forgets to guard when it's just us. The room had that expensive quiet our building pretends to include in the rent. I stared at the screen until the crown icon went from adorable to accusatory. Then I swiped and found the settings. 3 profiles. Me, Arya, and a brand new Miles, with a silhouette avatar, the app's best guess at a stranger who hadn't planned to be caught by software. Our mattress had auto-detected partner presence at 2:41 a.m., identified his sleep style as calm, and awarded him a better score than mine. I put the phone face down on the nightstand and lay there listening to the apartment breathe, the faint hum in the vent, the neighbor's polite cough, the city exhaling as if to make room for the day. Arya stirred and pressed herself closer with the muscle memory of years. Her palm found my chest. The old current ran between us. Nothing in her body language declared a crime. The app had not trained for this kind of evidence. She woke when the kettle clicked. I poured coffee into the mug that knows her hand. She leaned on the counter like an apology wrapped in linen and kissed my jaw with the soft focus she keeps for mornings. "Graphs?" she asked, a grin already on its way. "Something weird," I said, and made my tone so gentle it almost embarrassed me. "The bed thinks you invited a Miles." She blinked like a person told the punchline before the setup. All the tiny muscles behind her eyes arranged themselves into a shape I recognized because I've worn it. The face you put on when the truth is about to cost money. "Okay," she said and set the cup down. She didn't grab the phone, she didn't perform. "Mark, I'm sorry." There are many kinds of sorry. Hers was the expensive one, the kind that doesn't ask you to hold it for her. I waited because the alternative was a hallway fight, and I've learned those are just auditions for worse rooms. "Miles is a colorist," she said finally, exhale catching on the S. "We've been working nights. Notes turn into edits, edits turn into talking. I didn't plan a profile on our bed." "Do you love him?" I asked, and even as the words left I felt how they were both honest and lazy. "I don't know," she said. "I know I loved being looked at like I wasn't a project. I know I hate lying. I know I love you." We stood there with the ordinary between us. Counter, kettle, chipped mug. Like people at a border that used to be imaginary. "Let be braver," I said. "Not louder, a month. You at Maya's, me at Liam's, ugly chair therapy. No rooms without windows, no secret profiles. Sundays we meet in daylight and answer 2 questions. When did you want to run? When did you want to stay?" "Yes," she said, immediate. It wasn't relief. It was consent to pay the bill. We packed like people trying not to punish the furniture. She took the hoodie that makes her small on the couch and the black dress that makes the world use better verbs. I took the plant we still hadn't named because I needed something that responds to light without agenda. At the door she reached up and touched my cheek with thumb and forefinger like she was aligning a picture. "Can I?" "You can kiss me," I said, "not as bail, as proof." We kissed the way you mark an object fragile and then carry it anyway. My hand slid under the hem of her shirt and found the warm strip above her waistband. Her breath deepened at my ear with that private double I know by heart. We stopped because we told ourselves to. There is a heat that arrives when you choose not to borrow tomorrow. Liam's couch has a diploma in men trying to behave. He handed me a beer and a blanket and turned on a game where the stakes are numbers anyone can agree on. I slept like someone had turned me down rather than off. The next afternoon, a text vibrated with the kind of courtesy that makes you angrier than rudeness. "Hi, Mark. This is Miles. If you want to see the human and not a graph, I'll be at the bench by the canal at noon. If not, I'll be nowhere you have to think about." He was there, of course. Good coat, careful eyes, the posture of someone auditioning for decency and trying to earn the role. He didn't offer a hand. He didn't make a speech. "I'm stepping back for the month," he said. "Not as theater, because no one should have to make decisions in a room I'm standing in." "Switch projects," I said. "Give her hallways that are only hallways." "I already did," he said. "Laundry detergent, the irony not lost." We sat in a silence that felt like a table we could set things on. When I stood, he said, "I'm sorry," in the way that doesn't ask for credit, and I nodded, which is the closest I can get to kindness for a stranger with my name in his mourning. Therapy happened in a room that would lose on Instagram and win in court. The chairs didn't flatter. The rug had a scar it refused to cover. The therapist asked for sentences that worked when the lights were on. "I wanted to be seen by someone who hasn't seen me fail at groceries," Arya said. "I wanted trust to be an inheritance," I said. "I didn't earn it daily. I earned it in speeches which don't keep." We said the smaller, more erotic truths YouTube loves. Who calls the super, who buys the coffee beans, who chooses the show we pretend not to fall asleep to. We left red-eyed but taller. In week 2, I met Sable on purpose by accident. She sits on the park bench near the lopsided fountain like she invented neutrality. The first time, she looked at me over the rim of a paper cup and said, "Bad algorithm," the way older neighbors say weather. I told her about the mattress app, and she laughed the laugh of someone who's paid retail for a better class of mistake. "I'm Sable," she said. "I collect quiets." We walked the long way around the block and told the truth as if it were a hobby. At the corner where the streetlight forgives everyone, she kissed me once. Not a dare. A hello. My mouth found the respectful map of her shoulder through wool. Her hand found the back of my neck with the warmth of an invitation that knows the RSVP is later. We stopped with a joint pride that made both of us grin. "Be careful," she said. "Decency is a narcotic. It's better than the others, but it has a kick." On Sundays, Arya and I did our 2 questions on a bench we both agreed had good light for honesty. "I wanted to run when a note said make it pop, and I thought about texts," she said. "I wanted to stay when I pictured you making eggs badly and smiling at your own failure." I told her I wanted to run when a good coat turned a corner and behaved like a plot. "I wanted to stay," I said, "when I thought about us at 70, lynch-rolling each other and ruling our couch." We started buying boring groceries like we were constructing a bridge. We shared the calendar like a treaty. My phone stopped congratulating Miles in the mornings. The bed learned our names again and stopped trying to flatter a ghost. On day 22, the mattress company sent me a marketing email addressed to "Hey, Miles," with a discount on travel toppers. I forwarded it to myself with the subject line "Delete later," and then deleted it immediately, which felt like a ritual I could get behind. On day 27, I opened the app and found a new feature: share your rest with a friend. I laughed so loudly I scared the plant and then watered it like an apology. It leaned toward me, mercenary and honest. On day 30, Arya came back with her bag and a face that had stopped performing for appliances. We didn't hug first. We made tea. We let the ugly light do its job and took turns deciding. "Rebuild," she said, "if you want me and the maintenance that comes with me." "Rebuild," I said, "slow, no monuments. We date each other in a home we already rent, boredom on purpose, rooms with windows. We tell the app to mind its business unless our backs hurt." We kissed like a handshake, then like people whose mouths remember reasons. In the bedroom, we undressed the way a room is tidied by people who expect to see it again tomorrow. My hands found the warm strip of her waist. Her breath answered at my ear. We kept it day safe and clean of lies. Stopping felt like skill instead of loss. We wrote rules that looked like lists and felt like architecture. Report temptation like weather. If a device announces a third party, we check ourselves before we check each other. If we start nomming rooms, we leave them. If a profile shows up that isn't ours, we don't let it turn us into narrators with knives. Miles sent one last text, "No cameo." I replied with a literal thank you and didn't make it bigger than it was. Sable and I traded bench photos at odd hours, both of us practicing the craft of staying friends with our better selves. Once she wrote, "Choose ordinary, earn heat." I told her I was trying. She sent a heart that looked like it had paid rent. The plant got a name. Not Mercy. Not Second Chance. Pulse. Because what the app had tried to count for us turned out to be the thing we could feel with a palm on a back and a kiss in a doorway and the sound of the kettle when the morning decided to forgive us a little. There are still mornings when the crown icon makes me want to argue with plastic. Sometimes it congratulates me for sleeping through the night when I know I woke up and did inventory. Sometimes it complains that I tossed while I remember being a lake. We let it have its math. We keep the story. Last night while pasta boiled and the apartment practiced being a house, Arya came behind me and slid her hands under my t-shirt, resting her palms on my stomach with the certainty of someone who intends to keep earning her access. I set the timer and leaned back into her. We swayed, no music, the way people do when they are done auditioning and have taken the part. The bed would give us a number in the morning. We would give each other a kiss tonight, and the quiet we've learned to carry. After dinner we lay down with the plant on the sill and the city outside failing beautifully to be quiet. The app chimed and I didn't look. Arya laughed into my neck and said, "Whatever it says will be unruly." I kissed her back and said, "That's how we sleep through the interesting parts." She put her mouth near my ear and let yes do its soft work. We stopped exactly where we planned. The mattress, as always, waited politely to take its notes. We rolled toward the window and toward each other, and let the equipment practice accuracy while we practiced being true.